Happy Sabbath, brothers and sisters. The Bible describes plagues that will affect the earth's water systems. In the end times, there will be a series of plagues preceded by a trumpet. The second trumpet is mentioned in Revelations 8, verses 8 and 9. And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. The third trumpet in Revelations 8 verses 10 and 11. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter. These texts beg the question, why should we prepare? Why should we go through the motions? Simple answer. Because Jesus himself told his disciples to stay alert, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming, Matthew 24:42, and to be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect, verse 44. In Proverbs 21:31 states, the horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory belongs to the Lord. In layman's terms, humans are dependent on God, and we can do nothing without him. Even while knowing this, we should prepare for the battle, and all the while knowing the victory belongs to God. So, just as we would have a first aid kit for accidents, we should stay ready so we don't have to get ready when the time comes. Water conservation is the practice of managing and using water efficiently to reduce unnecessary water consumption and preserve water resources. It's essential for sustaining water supplies, especially in areas prone to drought or with limited freshwater sources. Here's everything you need to know about water conservation, broken down into key topics. Why water conservation is important. Its basic numbers and availability. Water is a finite resource. Despite 71% of the earth being covered by water, only 2.5% is freshwater, and only about 1.2% can be used as drinking water. The rest is locked up in glaciers, ice caps, and permafrost, or buried deep in the ground. Water is also affected by drought and climate change. Increasing droughts, higher temperatures, and unpredictable weather patterns exacerbate water shortages. The population growth. A growing global population increases the demand for water, making conservation critical for food production, industry, and domestic use. And then environmental protection. Conserving water helps maintain ecosystems by protecting habitats for animals and reducing the energy required for water treatment and distribution. Storing water. A backup plan for a water shortage involves multiple strategies to ensure water availability and sustainability. Capturing and storing rainwater for later use can reduce the reliance on freshwater sources. It is one of the most beneficial and easiest systems to conserve water in the long run. It can be installed on the rooftop at your home or apartment. One can have potable water even during the droughts and floods by having this system. Besides, it is very useful where the groundwater is contaminated with chemicals like pesticides, fluorides, etc. This is one of the simplest ways to store rainwater. Installing rain barrels helps to capture rainwater for landscape irrigation and reduces the need for fresh water. You can collect rainwater, but ensure the water is filtered and treated before use, especially for drinking. Gray water is water that already has been used domestically, commercially, and industrially. This includes the leftover, untreated water generated from washing machines, bathtubs, and bathroom sinks. How do you use gray water? The amount and quality of gray water will in part determine how it can be reused. Irrigation and toilet flushing are the two most common uses, but nearly any non-contact use is a possibility. Gray water is suitable for irrigating lawns, trees, and food crops. Black water is a type of wastewater that includes urine and fecal matter from bathrooms and toilets. Water from kitchens and dishwashers can also be considered black water due to contamination from grease and pathogens. Black water is dangerous because it can spread disease and bacteria and requires disinfection and chemical or biological treatment. This is why I did not include an image. It's pretty gross. I included black water systems because they do come up in conversation. However, you would need a pretty heavy duty filtration system to be able to reuse it on any level. If you need to purify the water before storing, have portable water filters, boiling methods, or purification tablets ready to make non-potable water safe to drink. Ferrule cement tanks are used to protect rainwater from contamination. It is made of steel mesh, galvanized wire, cement, and sand. This low-cost alternative can be easily constructed by semi-skilled laborers. So basically, you can Google it and make your own. During the assessment and planning phase, it's important to assess current water supply, identify critical needs, and develop a water shortage plan. To assess the current water supply, you need to understand your current water sources and usage. To identify critical needs, you would need to prioritize essential water uses such as drinking, cooking, and sanitation, and how much you would need for each. To develop a water shortage plan, you would need to outline steps to take during a shortage, including conservation measures and alternative sources. The Department of Environmental Quality Division of Drinking Water recommends water storage of 1 gallon per person per day for 2 weeks. This is based on 2 quarts or 1/2 gallon per person per day for drinking water and food preparation, and another 2 quarts or 1/2 gallon per person per day for other limited uses such as hand washing, teeth brushing, and dishwashing. This is a total of 14 gallons per person for 2 weeks. Please store more for hotter climates. Now let's get into long-term water storage. Long-term water storage is essential for ensuring access to safe and reliable water in times of scarcity, emergencies, or during natural disruptions. Effective long-term water storage solutions need to maintain water quality and prevent contamination. Here are some key methods and considerations for long-term water storage. This is a short list of the water storage containers. Plastic barrels, they're FDA-approved food-grade plastic barrels, usually 55 gallons or more. These are common for storing water because they are durable, relatively inexpensive, and widely available. Glass containers can be a good option if they are kept in the dark to prevent light from affecting water quality, but they are less practical for large volumes due to their fragility. Stainless steel containers are durable and resistant to corrosion, though they are a bit more expensive. Water tanks are comparable to plastic barrels because they're made from plastic or metal, but they can store larger volumes of water. When considering your water storage, you want to store the water in a cool, dark place as sunlight can promote algae growth and heat can degrade plastic containers over time. Keep containers away from chemicals or strong odors that can leach into the water. Stored water should be rotated every 6 months to a year, especially if untreated, to ensure freshness and safety. Use airtight containers to prevent contamination and evaporation. Containers should be sterilized before storing water in them. Untreated water stored in proper conditions, cool, dark, and sealed, can last several months, but it's recommended to replace it after 6. Treated water using preservatives like bleach or water stabilizers can last from 1 to 5 years. Commercially bottled water, if kept sealed, can last for many years, but should be checked for expiration dates and rotated accordingly. This is not a complete emergency preparedness list. However, it is a good starting point in ensuring you have access to drinkable water during an emergency. Some supplies you may need during an emergency to be able to filter your water would be food grade containers for the storage, a funnel, filters such as coffee filters or a clean cheesecloth, a tea towel, or even a pillowcase if you don't have anything else, an eyedropper, unscented chlorine bleach, large clean pan with a lid for boiling, and if you are using a 55-gallon drum, you may need a pump. You need a purification device or even a backpack filter and a camping stove to boil the water. These are additional containers that can also be used for storage or may be easier to get to than the ones we discussed previously. Please remember, water should be stored in containers manufactured for food use. Never use a container that has held toxic substances. A 5-gallon heavy-duty plastic container with a spigot to dispense the water. You may need to think about mobility as this option can weigh approximately 42 pounds when it's full. A 6-gallon Mylar water storage bag, which is impermeable to odor, gas, and light, contained in a cardboard box for easy stacking, is also an option. But this can also get pretty heavy and kind of weighs in at about 50 pounds. A 2-liter plastic drink bottle with a screw-on lid, a thermo-type container, a 1-gallon size glass jug padded with newspaper or something else to prevent breakage. You can can water in regular canning jars and then repack them in cardboard boxes with padding. I brought these up so that you can compare these to the 55-gallon drum, which weighs in at about 460 pounds when it's full. When preparing to store water, remember, stored water must be clean water. Use the best quality available for water storage. The best water would be from a system with a Division of Drinking Water approved rating. Water stored in thoroughly clean plastic or glass containers can be chemically disinfected for long-term storage by treating each gallon with 4 to 5 drops of unscented liquid chlorine bleach, Clorox or Purex type of bleaches containing 4% to 6% of sodium hypochlorite. 1 teaspoon of bleach disinfects 5 gallons of water. Allow 20 to 30 minutes before drinking it. This level of treatment will prevent growth of microorganisms during storage. Most municipal water storage facilities are already disinfected, so no additional treatment is necessary. Fill a clean food-grade container with tap water and screw on the lid. Store water containers away from cleaning supplies, fertilizers, and other products with strong odors. These odors could be absorbed by the storage containers and transferred to the water. Water stored in plastic containers should be filled to the top so there is no airspace and should be stored in a cool, dry location away from petroleum and insecticide products and away from strong odor food or perfumed products. Vapors from these substances could permeate the plastic and affect the water. Thick-walled polyethylene containers are significantly less permeable to vapors. What is the best way to disinfect water? Boiling is the safest, most effective method of disinfecting water. It is preferred over any method of chemical disinfection because most disease-causing microorganisms cannot survive the heat of the sterilizing boil. Water must be heated to boiling and held in a vigorous rolling boil for a minimum of 5 minutes. Let the water cool before drinking. Store disinfected water in clean, covered food-grade containers. Boiled water will taste better if you put oxygen back into it by pouring the water back and forth between two clean containers. This will also improve the taste of any stored water. Chemical disinfection of water is an acceptable alternative to heat sterilizing, but only if the water is clear. Disease-causing organisms such as viruses can hide inside the microscopic dirt particles that cause cloudiness in water. They can thereby escape the action of the disinfecting chemical and remain capable of producing disease. Chemical disinfection is less reliable than disinfection via boiling for several reasons. For example, the more organic matter that is in the water, the more chemicals are required. The colder the water is, the longer the contact time, which is the length of time between addition of disinfecting chemicals to the water and use of the water should be. Additional factors affecting the success of disinfection include the amount and type of chemicals used, water pH, how acidic or basic the water is, and types of disease-causing organisms in the water. Can I really use bleach to disinfect water? Yes. Household chlorine bleach kills most pathogens. If using chlorine tablets, follow the directions on the package. Do not use any scented bleaches, color-safe bleaches, or bleaches with added cleaners or non-chlorine bleach. Bleach works best when added to warm water that is about 68 degrees. You want to mix in 4 to 5 drops of household bleach or 16 drops of liquid chlorine bleach if the water is cloudy. This is just under about a quarter of a teaspoon per gallon. You want to cover and mix thoroughly and let stand for a minimum of 30 minutes before drinking. You should notice a slight chlorine smell after the 30 minutes. If you don't, add another couple drops, 2 drops. Let the water stand for another 15 minutes. Treated water may have a slight chlorine taste, but this is additional evidence of safety. If the water is cloudy or colder than 50 degrees, double the amount of bleach added. Cover it and let it stand for 1 to 2 hours before drinking. The longer the treated water stands, the better it works to disinfect the water. To reduce the chlorine taste, let the water stand uncovered for a few hours or pour it back and forth from one clean container to another several times. Since liquid chlorine bleach loses strength over time, only fresh bleach should be used for water disinfection. For bleach that is about 1 to 2 years old. The dosage should be doubled. Bleach older than 2 years should not be used unless absolutely necessary because of uncertainty as to how much the active ingredients have deteriorated. It is important to note that chemical disinfection, liquid bleach, iodine tablets, and halazone tablets will not remove cryptosporidium. This is a disease that causes watery diarrhea. Most people with a healthy immune system don't need to be treated. Cryptosporidiosis will resolve on its own. Iodine tablets have the advantage of being more effective against amoebic dysentery cyst and certain other intestinal parasite cysts than chlorine-based disinfectants such as sodium hydrochlorite or halazone tablets. Sporting goods stores commonly carry iodine tablets. Be certain iodine tablets are fresh, since they lose effectiveness with age. Fresh tablets have a gray color. They have a shelf life of approximately 3 to 5 years if they are unopened. The labels should show an EPA registration number. Often, iodine tablet containers carry labels recommending restrictions on use by pregnant or lactating women. Check the label before purchasing the tablets. Follow instructions on the label, mixing thoroughly and allowing adequate contact time. The iodine tablet should impart a light yellow to tan color to the water and a slight odor. Halazone tablets for emergency water disinfection are commonly carried by pharmacies and drugstores. The label should show an EPA registration number, and be certain to note the expiration date since the shelf life is only about 2 years. According to the manufacturer, it is important that the containers are tightly closed to prevent the absorption of moisture from the air. If decomposition of the tablet should occur, they take on a yellowish appearance, have a strong objectionable odor, and of course should not be used. If a disaster catches you without a stored supply of clean water, you can use the water in your house piping system, your hot water heater, or even ice cubes. Know the location of your house's water valve so you can shut it off. In a disaster in which your water company's supply of water to your house has been interrupted, or like a broken water main or something in the street, shut off water supply into your house to prevent backflow of contaminated water. To use the water in your piping, let air into the plumbing by turning on the faucet in your house at the highest level. A small amount of water will trickle out. Then, leaving the highest faucet on, obtain water from the lowest faucet in the house. To use water in your hot water heater, first turn off the electricity or gas supply, and then close off the cold water supply line to the water heater. Open the drain at the bottom of the tank and start the water flowing by turning on a hot water faucet somewhere else in the house. Collect the water containers and disinfect each gallon with 4 to 5 drops of liquid bleach. Allow 20 to 30 minutes before drinking. Note, if the water is cloudy or from an unsafe origin, 16 drops of liquid chlorine bleach is recommended. You can use water in the tank of your toilet, not the bowl. Disinfect as with water from the water heater. If you're caught outside during an emergency situation and need to have a water source, you can use ponds and rivers, rainwater, or untested wells and springs, and disinfect as necessary. Place the bag around a branch with green leaves and tie it securely. As plants transpire, they release water vapor through their leaves, which will collect inside the bag. This process, known as transpiration, doesn't harm the plant and can be repeated on different branches. For best results, choose plants with large green leaves, such as berry bushes, but be sure to avoid any toxic plants. Position the plant in a sunny spot, as the sun's heat will speed up the process. The water will condense inside the bag and drip into a corner, providing you with drinkable water. Okay, let's go over some key takeaways. Your container choice. So you want to use food safe, durable materials like BPA-free plastic, glass, or stainless steel. For treatment, you want to purify and treat the water before storing and consider using preservatives like bleach. The conditions, you want to store in a cool, dark place and rotate the water to ensure its freshness. And have an emergency plan. Have both large-scale storage and portable solutions like collapsible containers or water bladders. Here are some frequently asked questions for your review. What if the water is heavily contaminated or polluted with chemicals? Boiling water or adding bleach does not make heavily contaminated water safe because it does not remove the chemicals. You must find an alternate, safe, potable source of water. What if the water is cloudy or murky? Cloudy water can reduce the effectiveness of a disinfectant, so it is important to clarify water as a first step. Reduce cloudiness by pouring the water through a clean cloth or coffee filter. Let any remaining bits settle to the bottom. Pour off the clean water into clean containers and then disinfect. Can I use iodine to disinfect water? Yes, but only for a short period of time. There are potential health concerns, such as thyroid problems or iodine sensitivity, associated with long-term iodine use. Children and pregnant women are especially sensitive and should avoid using iodine to disinfect the water. Iodine works best when it's added to water that's about 68 degrees. So you want to mix it with 6 drops or a tincture of iodine in 1 liter of clear, untreated water. Let the water stand for 30 minutes before drinking. For cold water, let it stand for several hours before drinking. If the water is cloudy, you want to mix 10 drops tincture of iodine with 1 liter of water. Again, if using iodine tablets, follow the directions on the package. Can I use a water filter to disinfect water? So, filters such as Brita are not made to remove pathogens from an unsafe water supply. However, you may consider using a treatment device that is certified to kill or remove pathogens. For more information about these, you can go to nsf.org and find a lot of answers there or suggestions there. What should I use disinfected water for? If you need to disinfect your water, use treated or bottled water for the following activities: drinking and food preparation. This includes cleaning raw vegetables and fruit, as well as making baby formula. Drink mixes such as juice concentrates or drink crystals, coffee, ice cubes. Freezing does not kill or remove pathogens. Hand washing dishes. If using a dishwasher that does not have a hot or sanitation cycle, soak the dishes afterwards for 1 minute in a solution of 2 milliliters of bleach per liter of water. Brushing your teeth, filling pet dishes, bathing children, give sponge baths using disinfected water if it is in a limited supply. Adults can bathe using an undisinfected water, but they should not swallow the water. After bathing, wash your hands with disinfected water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Water conservation, storage, and filtration are critical components in ensuring sustainable water management, particularly as global water resources face increasing pressure due to population growth, climate change, and pollution. Filtration systems ensure water quality by removing contaminants and pathogens. In conclusion, the integration of water conservation, storage, and filtration strategies is essential for safeguarding water resources, promoting sustainability, and ensuring access to clean water. Thank you for your attention.